This is a show that will blow your mind, but it might not. It all depends. Do you like breakfast and a book with a friend? Hey guys, welcome back to the show. Oh, check this out. Got my spinny chair back. Oh, spinny chair. We are spinning in this chair. Does it bring you joy to spin in the chair? Does it bring you joy to spin in this chair? See, my spinny chair is back, you guys. It's pretty exciting. Spinny chair, spinny chair. Spinny chair while holding my nunchucks. That might happen. Let's see how this goes. Don't tell anyone I have nunchucks. They're totally illegal in California. Hiya! Anyways, what's up, guys? Welcome to Breakfast and a Book with Swallow. Today, we're going to be talking about brain droppings, and I'll be eating my peanut butter and jelly oatmeal that I made, plus a piece of sausage from my old job, Sunrise Kitchens. They went out of business for the part that I was doing in December. Then COVID made them go out of business now. That's something we're not talking much about. There's these small businesses who, like, they're doing okay. Like, my friends will be okay. They're smart survivalists and they'll be okay. But they have their business went out of business. Like, they don't have a choice because there's not going to be catering for a year, and they don't have the type of money to not have a business for a year doing anything. So they can't pay for those things and all that stuff. So they gave me some of the food that they had left over, and we're going to take a bite of this sausage. It's turkey sausage in homage to them. Thank you guys for keeping me employed for 10 years. You're wonderful people. I don't know if you're watching right now. Jerry and Laura from Sunrise Kitchens, you were some of the greatest people I know, and I thank you for, making it so I didn't live on the streets. Some good turkey sausage, guys. So, if you know people who have a small business who are still, like, up and running, do your best to order stuff from them, take out, whatever it is you can do. If you have that kind of money, be out there being supportive. Let's try out this peanut butter and jelly oatmeal, because I'm pretty sure it's gonna be good. I mean, it's peanut butter and jelly. What can go wrong? Yeah, it literally tastes like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, but with oatmeal. It's funny how you think, oh, I'm gonna try this creative, crazy thing. It's gonna be insane. It's not insane. It's basically peanut butter and jelly. So, today's book is from arguably the greatest comedian of all time. It's Brain Droppings by George Carlin. He obviously, if you've ever watched comedy, you know who George Carlin is. If you don't know who George Carlin is, immediately go to YouTube and start watching his videos. Stouty Stout, maybe you can make them into cookies. Oh, that's a great idea. Peanut butter and jelly oatmeal cookies. That's a brilliant idea. I am going to come up with that recipe and make it work. It will be delicious. Anyways, if you don't know who George Carlin is, that is very silly. Now, some of you will go and see George Carlin. If you haven't seen George Carlin before, you would see some of the cussing and the stuff he did and go, oh, well, I've heard that before. Well, you've heard that before because he's the guy who made that stuff happen. Now, Lenny Bruce and him are two people who literally went to jail for cussing. If ever people complain about their freedom and freedom of speech and stuff, and because they can't say the N-word or say something racist, I mean, they can. That's the thing. You can say that stuff, but guess what happens? People don't like you when you do that. But guess what also doesn't happen? You don't go to jail. That's what freedom of speech is about. This guy went to jail along with Lenny Bruce so that you could say asshole and fuckwit. That's not so you could say a bunch of horrible shit about people, so you could cuss, because the cuss words aren't a big deal. But anyways, that's some of the stuff this guy wrote, Josh Nassar. Yeah, come. That's another word. Come. You should be able to say come. It's not a big deal, guys. It's not a big deal, especially when you're like, hey, come here. Ha ha. But when you say it like, hey, come here. You changed the tone of things, is what I'm saying. My hair did that fucking Conan thing. Josh Nassar. You are a whore. Yes, Josh, that is not true because I have a girlfriend. But it was true, perhaps, at some point. You would never tell what I look like right now. But yeah. Let's see. Just so we can do the normal thing, you know I like to read the back of the book or the side thing. So we're going to do that with this guy as well. Oh, you know what? I'm actually not going to do that because basically George Carlin wrote a book that has a bunch of his jokes in it, and I am going to read some of them. Keep it. We don't want it. Don't you get tired of celebrities who explain their charity work by saying they feel they have to give something back? I don't feel that way. I didn't take nothing. You can search my house. I didn't take a thing. Everything I got, I worked for, and it was given to me freely. I also paid taxes on it. Late. I paid late, but I paid. You celebrity people want to give something back? How about giving back half the money, or a couple of those houses? And you dickwads who collect cars, how about giving back 50 or 60 of them? Or maybe, if you people really want to give something back, you could let go of a little of that arrogance. Ooh, okay. Deserving charities. For my part, I like to work quietly in the background, helping my preferred charities raise money. If you'd like to help too, here are just a few you might consider. St. Anthony's Shelter for the recently all right. The Christian Haven for the chronically feisty. The community keeps something or other from taking place. The Center for Research into the heebie-jeebies. Free hats for fat people. Free hats for fat people. The Task Force for better pancakes. The Home for the visually unpleasant. The State Hospital for those who felt all right about a year ago. Expressions I question. In the privacy of your own home. As opposed to what? The privacy of someone else's home? You have no privacy in someone else's home. That's why you got your own home. Down the pike. He was the meanest guy ever to come down the pike. Fine. What about guys who come up the pike? Not everyone lives north of the pike. Some guys have to come up the pike, and they're really mean because nobody mentions them at all. And what about a guy who doesn't even use the pike? He arrives on Amtrak. Boy, he was the meanest guy ever to arrive on Amtrak. Doesn't sound right. Stouty said it's because of his bravery that we're able to say that 9/11 was an inside job. Well, 9/11 wasn't an inside job, but you're allowed to say it and not go to jail over it. So yeah, arguably, yeah. Like a bat out of hell. We say some guy was going like a bat out of hell. How do we know how fast a bat would leave hell? Maybe he would leave real slow. In fact, why should we assume that a bat would even want to leave hell? Maybe he likes it there. Maybe hell is just right for a bat. Maybe it's bat heaven. And now that we're on this subject, how do we know hell has bats in the first place? What would a bat be doing in hell? Usually a bat is in the belfry. Why would he want to split his time between two places? Then again, maybe that's why he's in such a hurry to leave hell. He's due back at the belfry. As you can see, this book is worth picking up. He's definitely one of the greatest comedians of all time. Arguably, like I said, the greatest comedian of all time. I think it's between like maybe Richard Pryor, George Carlin, Chris Rock. I can't think of anybody else off the top of my head who are like, I think, the greatest. But a lot of people would argue a bunch of different people. I know people who love Rodney Dangerfield. I know people who love Eddie Murphy. It's huge arguments for lots of people. Patton Oswalt's one of my favorite people. And you know what's interesting about comedy, you guys? There's people out there who make you laugh harder than anyone in the world. There's a comedian who's one of my favorite comedians, period. His name is Brian Scalero. He's got a book out called How to Punch a Monkey, and he is hilarious. Do yourself a favor and pick up his book. The guy is, I can't even explain how hard that guy makes me laugh when I see him at a show. And I've seen his set, and he has lots of different jokes, but like I've seen him do the same jokes, and then I'll laugh just as hard at the same jokes as I did the previous set, because he's just that great a performer, and he's got such good voices, and his writing is superb. So picking up his stuff in a book is a great idea. So let me just say it again: Brian Scalero, How to Punch a Monkey. Check that out. I just want to read a couple of things on the back of his book that he said. The only good thing ever to come out of religion was the music. It is impossible to know accurately how you look in your sunglasses. Get it, huh? If you can't beat them, arrange to have them beaten. Hard work is for people short on talent. Sometimes a little brain damage can help. Let's see. Why are there no recreational drugs taken in suppository form? When JFK Jr. gets into a New York taxi to go into the airport, does he say, "Take me to JFK," and how does he feel about that? Where does the dentist go when he leaves you alone? If you mail a letter to the post office, who delivers it? Bum, 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 ba-da-dum, ba-da-dum. Paintings and art form from religion is good too. You can make an argument from that. The Sistine Chapel was pretty darn amazing, and a lot of people had to make art for the Catholic religion, because they were basically in charge of everything. So if you wanted to make art for money, you had to kind of do what they asked you to do, so that you could make the money and still be doing cool drawings. So, here's a good one I just opened up too. Exactly, Saudi. They were the only ones paying for it. So here's a good one. I just want to read this. I know I'm reading a little more than I normally read, but that's because it's George Carlin, and that's what you do. Look at this guy. Fuck the farmers. Can someone please tell me why farmers are always whining and looking for a handout? If it isn't a drought or a flood, it's their bad loans. I was always told farmers were strong, independent people who were too proud to accept help. But sure enough, as soon as something goes wrong, they're looking for the government to bail them out. And they're the first ones to complain about city people who live on welfare. Fuck the farmers. They're worrying about losing their land. It wasn't their land to begin with. They stole it from the Indians. Let them find out what it feels like to have your land taken away by some square-headed cocksucker who just came over on a boat. They wiped out the bears, the wolves, and the mountain lions. They spoiled the land, poisoned the water table, and they produced tasteless food. Why is in this capitalist society all businesses are expected to succeed or fail on their own except farming? Why is that? Wow. Wow. Fuck the farmers. Interesting. Ooh, this one's fun. People say I'm going to sleep now as if it were nothing, but it's really a bizarre activity. For the next several hours, while the sun is gone, I'm going to become unconscious, temporarily losing command over everything I know and understand. When the sun returns, I will resume my life. If you didn't know what sleep was, and you had only seen it in a science fiction movie, you would think it was weird and tell all your friends about the movie you'd seen. They had these people, you know, and they would walk around all day and be okay. And then once a day, usually after dark, they would lie down on these special platforms and become unconscious. They would stop functioning almost completely, except deep in their minds they would have adventures and experiences that were completely impossible in real life. As they lay there, completely vulnerable to their enemies, their only movements were to occasionally shift from one position to another, or, if one of the mind adventurers got too real, they would sit up and scream and be glad they weren't unconscious anymore. Then they would drink a lot of coffee. So next time you see someone sleeping, make believe you're in a science fiction movie and whisper, "The creature is regenerating itself." See? This guy is hilarious. George Carlin, Brain Droppings. Go check out his books. Check out all the books, you guys. Again, I also want to suggest Brian Scalero's book, How to Punch a Monkey, because he is hilarious. He's got some of my favorite jokes, period. I don't want to do them here because I don't want to mess them up. and you should go watch his clips or buy his book. Literally, just go do it. You will laugh and be happy you did it. Oh God, peanut butter and jelly oatmeal, you guys. Brilliant. I'm brilliant. Let me be clear. When I say I'm brilliant, I mean I'm brilliant for coming up with this concoction that someone probably has already come up with. So, anyways, like I was saying, if you're a regular person out there, hey, are you doing comedy tonight? No, I am not doing comedy tonight. I will be doing a show Sunday with my friend Carol Newell on Zoom. I'll have like a way for you guys to watch. It'll be a public meeting. Perhaps we'll have some weirdos come in and show their boobs, although she probably has some kind of password protected thing. I am going to do live stand-up next Friday from our rec room as well. So this Sunday, I believe it's Sunday the 26th, I'll put a post up today so that you guys can check it out. With Carol Newell, I'll be doing a live stand-up with a bunch of people. So you'll get to watch me and some other very, very funny comedians. Off the top of my head, there's Zach Elk, Sheila Ratner, who is fucking hilarious, Cynthia Levin, Carol Newell, I assume will be doing some stand-up, and she's very funny, and also has, as you will see, the world's best laugh. It is 100% hilarious. So check that out on Sunday. And like I said, check out all the books, guys. Be out there reading and supporting art as much as you can. What we want to do is we want to help keep you entertained. That's what we're doing here, you know. Everybody's good at something. I'm good at being goofy, reading books, and telling some jokes from time to time. So those are the things I'm doing. Along top of that, I'm also very good at talking about nerdy stuff. So check out my podcast, Nerd Goat, with Ed Greer from Screen Junkies and producer Bill. He is a co-host on the podcast for sure. And you should, we basically have people on to talk about their favorite fictional character of all time. During the quarantine, we're just doing the three of us because it's a little too complicated to bust out guests and make it cohesive with four people. It's usually three people is already tough because you have to pause, talk, and you have to pause for like 3 or 4 seconds. Stouty says, my roommate says, fight the guinea pig for my amusement. Yes, no, I'm not fighting our guinea pig. I will cuddle our guinea pig and touch his little face. And so he goes, quick, 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 quick. He's very adorable. Anyways, I'm babbling, you guys. Like I said, get out there, support all the artists you know. If you can, if you're a regular person out there and you're like, you know, have a real job and like are still working, and you want to support artists, and you want to support me, you go to at Ron-Swallow for Venmo or RonSwallow@gmail for PayPal. Throw me $3. It'll help me pay my rent. If not, and you want to get tons of content, you can go to NerdGoat podcast on Patreon, patreon.com/NerdGoatPodcast, and you will get to see all the cool extra stuff that Ed Greer and I are doing. You can also go to Reboot It. That's a YouTube channel that Billy Business, Ed Greer, producer Bill, and I are forced to reboot movies that nobody wants to see rebooted. So that's what we're doing. We've done The Matrix, The Skywalker Saga, Green Lantern, Superman. We've done a bunch of reboots that are excellent. In an hour and a half, we crack together a pretty solid story, do casting. I'm pretty proud of it. It's very funny and interesting. The last episode, The Matrix, almost broke our brains because it was very tough to do because The Matrix is such a great movie. Messing with it is difficult, and we found it difficult. We pulled it off, though, I think. Anyways, so thank you all for being supportive of artists, and if you are an artist, keep doing something, you guys. Like, get out there, write something, work on stuff. There's no reason not to be, because this is what we got going on. So, literally, I love you all. Be safe out there, and thank you for watching another episode of Breakfast and a Book with Swallow. Bye, guys.